for next year. City of Livonia recently put $200,000 in. Canton a couple years ago put $500,000 in there. There's some people that say, well, we need to get rid of the golf course, and I'm going to remind you this. For 10 years, I think, brought in $3.5 million, of which we reinvested $300,000, and took the $2.2 million to use on other projects in this community. I believe it's programming for our adults. We have over 2,200 Plymouth and Plymouth Township residents that use that course this past year, and I believe it's a good investment. The other $50,000 was for recreation facilities and program, to go out and look at and develop a plan to build recreation facilities and programming for Plymouth Township residents and businesses. All too often, over my years, I've heard, oh, we go to the city of Plymouth, or we got to go to Canton, or whatever, and everybody says that's okay. I don't think it is. I think we need our own facilities. We've talked about it for years. Mr. Zantop was here tonight.
Don't start attacking a member of the public who can't defend himself. Come on. That's
well, Mr. Zantop wants me to can't defend himself. He defends himself okay, Bob. It's okay when he attacks, but
it's fine.
Can I make my comment?
Ron, that is inappropriate to attack.
So are you. Mr. Zantop put out stuff about my campaign in '92. Will you listen before you speak up? I'm going to just say that you will never let anybody finish anything. I'm going to finish it. In 1996, 2000, 2004, and 2008, in my campaign literature, read about recreation programs and facilities. I'm living by my campaign promise. That's all I was trying to say.
I won't be putting that on the internet.
Okay?
Sit up there and attack a member of the public.
You know, Bob,
Let's stay with the budget.
So
let's just go down the budget.
May I ask a question on this? So the $50,000 you said was to go out and study whether we need a recreation department.
Right.
Not to have a recreation department.
Study do facilities and programming within Plymouth Township.
But the gentleman that was here earlier,
I don't agree with you.
zero.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
No, he's not. This plan right there was to tax Plymouth Township residents 0.7 mils.
I think he's talking about the study.
See, the study
Well,
was zero.
Okay.
It wasn't $50,000.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Money to do a study.
Wait a minute. Let's get back to the budget, please. Let's stop this.
Well, that was
Never
inappropriate.
mind. You don't have to defend what you just said.
I think everyone
Let's
in
just
this
finish.
community agrees.
Let's finish what we're doing.
There's $50,000 there to do a study, do a survey to see what the residents of Plymouth Township want, and if necessary, go out to a vote. This is not something that's going to just get passed on. It's a vote of the people within our community.
But you spent $50,000
So-
taxpayer money. That gentleman was going to do it for zero.
It wasn't doing it in Plymouth Township, okay? And Plymouth Township is what we represent here, even though I read some things that say differently in the community about items. So, the thing is to move Plymouth Township forward and down the road. We have been losing on our property values left and right because we don't have the amenities. I cannot say how much that our property has not caught up to others because other people are looking to move elsewhere because we don't have certain things in this community. And recreation is one of them.
Our property values dropped because people didn't have jobs. It was the economy. It wasn't because there wasn't a soccer park. It was the economy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You should get over it.
Let's go back. Okay, this is,
And my property values were skyrocketing. I don't know about yours.
They have come back up, but they're not keeping pace with Northfield Township. Okay? They're not keeping pace with the city of Plymouth. Okay? So one of the biggest things out there that people look at when they're moving to a community is the quality of life they have in there. And this is one of those quality of life issues that people look at. Livonia has a recreation center. Canton Township has a recreation center. everybody's looking to do something recreational wise.
So you said 2,200 Plymouth Township residents use the golf course this year. I'm going to assume that that number's true. The population is what, 26,000?
Right.
So that's 7%.
Okay,
7%.
so how many people recreate a year?
7%, and we lost $100,000 for 2,200 people. And for 2,200 people to use the golf course, we lost $100,000.
We spent $350,000 on our parks so people could attend it. Is that, do you consider that losing $350,000?
Yeah, but we're gonna borrow, this board is gonna borrow $2 million for moving the township forward, and you swore that's not a tax increase, but now we have to do a tax increase of $1 million to pay for fire equipment, and because it wasn't a tax increase over here, but it's a tax increase over here, that's not a tax increase.
What's
How
not
about
a
taking
tax
the $2 million we're gonna borrow for improvements and using some of that to buy fire equipment? How about that, instead of raising taxes?
Well, you're looking to raise taxes so we can build something in the city. Do you think that's appropriate, Mr. Garcetti?
That's 2 years down the road.
Okay.
Let's get back to it.
Richard?
Yeah,
I agree. I'm
Richard,
good.
where's your gavel?
I have it here.
Pick it up.
Give it to you, Steve.
Okay.
Yes, pass it down.
Besides that, what's in the park budget, there's nothing else in that budget. Besides that, as you know, the $1.9 million that we went out to bond, of which $1.5 million is for park improvements and golf course improvements. That is not a tax increase. That is being paid out of monies, if you recall, of what's mostly budgeted for the recreation department right now that we've been spending on our bonds for the soccer park, just replacing that with a slight increase of about $20,000 a year. So I leave it at that. Now,
I'm just getting started.
All right, back to the general fund. I think we got to the general fund budget, correct?
I have a question. The 1.5 million for the proposed sale of the old township hall, where is it in this budget?
it's not.
And,
Doesn't go in there, it belongs in the improvement revolving fund.
right,
That's where it was all taken into account before.
and then what will that money be distributed on? Spent on? What will that 1.5 million if it's
It's
successful?
up to what the board decides to spend on that, okay?
What about fire equipment? Could we do that? Is it possible?
Originally, it was used to keep the bond payment down. See that $723,000 number there? Wasn't supposed to be that high. Because we didn't sell the property right
A
away,
long time ago.
and it would have been less of a number there,
Got it.
okay?
So there's no increased millage in this proposal, it's the 4 mills
No.
that is in the attached document.
Right, there's
We
no
approved this
increased
in September.
millage. Any increased millage will have to come to by the vote of the people. For next year, we're not asking for a millage increase. For
Same.
2014, we're not asking for a millage increase. 2015, and what I referred to earlier with the fire department, our proposal being made to the board, which will come up in December, is to go out for millage to pay for the fire equipment for 1 year.
What do we do for fire equipment now? We waited, the plan is to wait till, it'd be 2016 when you could buy it after.
Oh, absolutely no, you can buy this equipment starting next year. In 2000, end of 2014.
So 1 year from now, you could buy equipment.
Right.
Anticipation that you would get a millage approved in 2015?
No, millage would be approved we would go out next August for a millage increase. It would go on the December bill, okay?
No, I misheard, I thought you said 2014 you weren't going to do a millage, it was going to be 2015.
No, we're going out for a millage. If you pass the millage in August, it's dated on the 2014 bill for spending effective as of January 1st, 2015.
You heard it right.
Yeah, I thought, I know I heard it right.
So we wouldn't